This video falls under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Thank you. Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Pixie Love. You guys can call me Pixie. And today we're doing some fat acceptance TikTok cringe. And this video is coming from Funty Times. Let me know if I'm saying that right. It's spelled like auntie but fun, so I'm like Funty Times. They do, you know, some compilations, and they also put their opinions in the video as well. So it's not just gonna be me. I'm gonna do mine first, and then we're gonna hear what they say, and then I might, you know, react to what they say. But anyway, go give them a follow. Their videos do really well, and they're a fairly new channel, so you know, give them a follow, go give them a like, and everything. Also, I want to say, I haven't been saying this in my videos lately, and I don't know why I've been forgetting, but you know, when I do these TikToks, this is not to spread hate or harass anyone that you see in this video. I just like to hear other people's opinion and say my own. Most of the time I disagree with these people. Sometimes I do agree with what they have to say. So don't go and harass anyone like you see in this video. I don't think anyone has from any of my videos, but I just want to make sure I say that in videos. Like, don't go and find these people and go harass them. Don't. That's not what I'm here about. You know, I'm just here to say my opinion. If you guys have an opinion, leave that down below in the comments below in my comment section. That's what it's here for. If you guys have an opinion about anything I say or anything you hear in this video, let us know here down below on this video, because that's where it's welcomed. Alright? Let's get into these TikToks.
You know, it's a friggin' thin privilege thing. Being able to wear your partner's, like, regular clothing and for it to be baggy on you.
I hope this is a joke.
Okay, the funny part about this, if you as a big girl was dating a bigger guy, you would be able to wear his clothes. But I'm pretty sure you're probably dating a guy smaller than you, like I am. And you know what? It sucks. I can't wear his hoodie, or even my ass is too big for his sweatpants, okay? My man's a medium, okay? He's a fucking medium. But like, that's not thin privilege. I thought, you know, everyone's body is their natural size, so aren't you supposed to be naturally this big, and isn't your man supposed to be naturally his size? So I don't understand. Maybe he can wear your clothes. You know, that would be cute. Let the guy wear your clothes for once.
Dating someone that is approximately 2 to 3 sizes larger than you is a privilege? Really?
Okay, I'm jumping in on the question of the hour. Is it fatphobic to not want yourself to be fat?
Before she answers, I want to say something. No, it's not, because fat phobia isn't a thing.
The biggest defense of that argument is like, why is it a problem for me to have a preference about the way that my body looks? So I think this is a twofold thing. First of all, preferences don't exist in a vacuum. The reason that you would prefer to have a thin body is because of society's fat phobia. Duh. That is not an isolated thought that you came up with. So yeah.
It's like they think anyone who wants to be skinny and healthy is just so blindly warped by media. Like, we cannot think for ourselves. We see all these skinny people in magazines, and we're just like, oh, I have to be this type person, and like, I have to be exactly like this person, and I can't think for myself. I am listening to the masses, and I'm not coming up with my own ideas because I think like normal people, and I'm not thinking out of the box. So I'm like everybody else. Like, it's like they believe that we look in a magazine and we watch TV and we see people who look a certain way, right? And we're dying on the inside to be that way just because we see famous people looking that way, or we see people in magazines looking that way. Not that we can have our own independent thoughts and be like, hey, me in this bigger body kind of feels like shit. And at least for someone like me who was a smaller child, I remember what it's like to be in a smaller body. And I'm just like, I think I want to go back to that. It can't be that. It has to be that I'm super fat phobic and I hate myself and I just want to be skinny because I see skinny people on TV. That's what it has to be, because that's what I get from them. They're just like, oh, society has done this to you, blah, 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 blah. And that, oh, okay. Let her keep talking.
It is your preference, but do some critical thinking. Where does...
See, I fucking told you. She acts like we can't, they act like we don't think for ourselves. I am critically thinking. Bitch, my knees hurt because I'm a fat bitch, and I don't want my knees to hurt because I'm a fat bitch. So critical thinking told me if I lose weight, my knees will no longer hurt.
Where did that come from? And two, I think that's a super bogus and lazy way to like write off this whole conversation. Because if people really started to question, why do we think this way and why do we value thinness so much, it would cause everyone to have to get more involved with fat liberation, and they just don't want to.
There's also two different things, in my opinion, of wanting to be skinny and wanting to be healthy. Like, some people just want to be skinny for the reason to be skinny, and they don't want to be fat and whatever. But there's more people are not that just wants to be healthy. And typically being healthy comes with being in a smaller body. And if you are doing things to become more healthy, you tend to like slowly lose weight and get in a smaller, healthier body. That's just kind of how things work. And like, it's just, oh, she's just so annoying. Like, it's just, like she said, we don't think critically. The only reason why I want to be skinny is because I saw Megan the motherfucking Stallion and I was like, bitch, I want to look like her. That's it. I can't critically think. And if it wasn't for Megan the Stallion, I would want to be fat for the rest of my life, guys. I don't think for myself, okay? Apparently.
Wanting to be skinny and be a healthy weight is definitely not an isolated thought. It comes from decades and in reality, millennia of observations that having a lot of excess body fat is unhealthy. It is a learned thought based on observation and scientific evidence, not exclusively from a societal pressure to be thin.
Yes, going on with the first half of what she's saying, as I people watch. I don't know if anyone else does, but I look around and I watch other people and I see how they move and I see what they do. And something I've noticed is like looking at people in bigger bodies really depress me because of how they, like, as someone who's also a bigger body and I'm borderline super fat, it's like I look at people who are bigger than me and the way that they move, the way that they walk around, I'm like, oh my God, do I waddle when I walk? Do I like look a certain way? Do I like, and they look so miserable, like they can barely move. And oh, don't even get me started how I feel when I see fat people using the scooters. Like, I'm just like, like that terrifies me to get to that point. And that is my critical thinking, like from what I can, and like, listen, I can't diagnose someone just by fucking looking at them, apparently. But, like, from what I can just visually see is that I see a extremely morbidly obese person who has to go shopping in a motorized scooter for whatever reason. But my brain is assuming and thinking that it's most likely because they get out of breath very quickly, their joints hurt from moving around too much, and so on and so forth. And I'm just like, I don't want that. And I don't see how it's wrong for me to... And I don't ever say anything to the person. I don't make them feel any type of way. I don't even make a face. But it's just like what I think in my head is like, I don't want that to be me. I don't. And I'm doing everything I possibly can for that not to be me. So I just like what this person said, like it's from observation. Like
Wanting to lose weight or remain skinny is not always because someone has a strong prejudice against fat people. And even if someone is obese and wants to lose weight for aesthetic reasons, along with being healthier, that's also completely valid and they shouldn't be shamed for that.
If people just want to lose weight, they should be able to lose weight. Just like you say people should leave you alone for being fat, go off and stay fat. But you shame people who want to lose weight and make it seem like they're making the worst decision of their lives.
Super rough, but I definitely needed to come and address this comment, especially in video form. I am actually trying to fix society by making all bodies normalized.
I like how the person's like, you can change your weight. It's not a privilege. Fix it if you don't like it. What she meant by fix it is fix your weight. You can't fully change society. And no one said fat bodies aren't valid. No one is saying that. What we're tired of hearing you complain about problems that you wouldn't have if you weren't in a bigger body. I always had a saying since I was a very young child, and I might have got it from my dad. And it's like, if you are complaining about something and you aren't actively working towards fixing that problem, you have no right to complain. Like me, I complain about my knees hurting all the time. But since I am actively working on trying to lose weight, I feel like I get to complain. But if I was complaining about my joint pains and my knees, and I'm over here eating, if I was still eating 3,000-4,000 calories a day and not fucking moving unless I go to work, then I really had nothing to complain about. But since I walk back and forth to work, I try to go out for a walk every day on my day off. I tend to walk, I'm not walking miles and I'm not doing my 30 minutes like I should be, but like I make sure I'm a little active every day. And plus my job, like when I work, I do 15,000 steps a day. Like I get steps in at my job. And I'm eating way less than I used to be. Like I used to eat 4,000 calories a day and I'm now down to like about 2. I got to drop that down just a little bit more to start being in a deficit or a bigger deficit. But like I'm actively aware of my issues are and actively slowly working my way to fix them. So I can complain about my joint pains because I am working on the issue. You know, I'm working on a solution. But you are complaining, people like you complain like, oh, I can't fit in an airplane seat. Oh, towels are fat phobic. Oh, this and that and blah, 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 blah. And we're like, well, you're complaining about these issues that have a solution. Are you working on that solution, which would be losing weight? You're like, no, I'm trying to fix all of society. And I'm sorry, you can't even work on yourself physically and mentally, but yet you want to fix society? No, You're not going to fix anyone with that.
I'm not diminishing your hard work to be thin. You do you, boo. But your life shouldn't be easier just because your body's smaller than mine. And saying fix your weight when you have no idea what my history is, my health, anything like that, you don't know my genetics, that's kind of a big blanket.
Genetics. That, just because everyone in your family is fat and you're also fat, it doesn't mean that your family has a fat gene. It means that your family has an eating problem and you got your eating problem from your family. If you've watched my video before, I have basically disproven like the fat gene freaking thing because I've showed members of my family, like when I tell you barely anyone in my family is morbidly obese, only a few family members are that size. Only a few. And none of them are like direct, like they're cousins. The ones I can think of, like I have 2 cousins that I can think of off the top of my head that are morbidly obese, and both those cousins, all of their siblings are skinny. It's literally an us problem. And out of us 3, all that's morbidly obese, I was the only one who was actually a skinny child. They were always like big. They were both guys. They're both like, they were always on the bigger side, but I was a skinny child. I'm pretty sure I showed you guys photos. I was a skinny child. I didn't start getting weight until middle school, like end of middle school, when I started getting overweight. The genetics thing always fucking gets me.
Really rude statement to say. And if you don't want to be called rude, don't be rude on the internet to people you don't know. All this to say, thin privilege is still a thing, and
no, it's not. And you're like, well, it's not fair that your life is easier because you're in a smaller body. You can get a smaller body if you want to, but if you don't want to, you have to deal with the difficulties of being in a bigger body. We can't make all airplane seats bigger. Sorry, not sorry. Companies want to fit as many people as possible on the planes. And if they make the seats a standard or even smaller than standard, because they make them pretty darn small, they can fit more people. And they make more money for more people that they get on per flight. It's not like, we don't want fat people to ride our flights. No, it's about, we want to fit as many people on this flight as possible. So let's do that instead of trying to make people comfortable. Because no one's comfortable on a fucking flight, okay? Okay, no one is comfortable on an airplane. No one. So why you get to be even better. You get to buy 2 fucking seats. Like, yeah, oh, it's so embarrassing to get a seatbelt extender. Oh, kiss my ass. You get 2 seats if you're a certain size. 2, you have extra room, because no one should fill up 2 full seats, but you're slightly too big for 1, so you get 2 seats. And look, you got a comfortable fucking ride. But no, everyone else is miserable on the airplane, but how dare our lives be slightly fucking less inconvenience because we don't need a fucking seatbelt extender. I'm not at that point yet. I think if I get on a flight right now, I might need one, but I'm gonna try my best not to use the seatbelt extender. That's, no, that's not where I want to be in my life.
If you got mad at that video, maybe kind of take a look at yourself as to why. Are you mad that you have to be thin? If so, I'm sorry, girlfriend. I'm here to tell you, you don't.
No, I'm not mad that I have to be thin, because I don't think I have to be thin. I don't want to be thin. My goal weight, if I haven't told you guys, is 180. If I change my mind when I get there, I might. But with my height and body type, 180 is my goal weight. That is not thin by any means. I don't want to be thin. I want to be in a smaller body, and I'm kind of want to be slim thick. Okay? I've talked about this. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit vain. I'm a little vain. But no, your video didn't make me upset because I want to be thin. It made me upset that you're so privileged that you think that you're able to change the whole society when you haven't worked on yourself.
Your comment comes across as really salty that you have to work to be thin. Why not just live your life?
The comment only said, your weight is something that is within your control, so being thin isn't a privilege. I work hard to remain thin, and that if you want to lose weight, you could. I don't think there's anything bitter about what this commenter said.
Agree.
They said they work hard to maintain their body and their health, and that is an option for others if they so choose. And they said you can fix your weight because you are clearly over what would be considered a healthy weight for your size, and if you want the privileges you say thin people have, you can put in the effort to get them.
Exactly.
Gain weight by eating enough, that is the body that you are intended to have.
Our brains don't stop developing until we're like 25, so why do we expect anything different from our body? Why do we expect our body?
Because your bodies do stop developing at a certain time. Your brain and body are two different things. Okay, let's be honest. Your mentality grows very slowly compared to the human body. And for women especially, a lot of us stop growing and developing right around the end of puberty for us, which is most of the time when we get our periods. Okay, sometimes a little bit after, but for the most part, it's around then. Okay, men tend to continue to grow until they're 21, I believe is what I heard. And it's been, like, your body doesn't grow anymore. And the only thing I know is, like, I think naturally, every 10 years, you roughly, like, your body naturally holds 10 more pounds. Like elderly people, like, I'm pretty sure I heard something like that, like, every, 10 years, you know, your body holds, like, so if you're, like, naturally 100, if you're, like, naturally 130 pounds in your 20s, I think, like, when you're, like, 30 or like 140 or 135, like you naturally gain like 5 to 10 pounds every decade or something like that. I could be wrong, but it's something like that. What is she trying to say?
Bodies just like freeze at the age of 16 and never change. Like if you are in the gym every week for hours, sometimes every day, or if you're in a caloric deficit and always dieting, then that's not what your body's supposed to look like. Like give yourself a break. Figure out what your body actually...
Well, people are only at a caloric deficit when they're trying to lose weight. Once they're at a weight that they're happy with, they eat at a maintenance calorie intake, like what you should be eating to just maintain your weight. And if you exercise while you're at a caloric maintenance, you can actually eat more because you're exercising. Or if you just want to be at a maintenance without exercising, your caloric maintenance is a little lower. That's kind of how things work. No one is at a caloric deficit their whole fucking life, unless they're constantly dieting their whole life and still trying to lose more weight. You're only at a caloric deficit when you're trying to lose weight. And sometimes that for people, it takes years. For me, it's taken years. It's going to take years. I'm doing this slowly but surely, you know? So...
actually looks like.
So, I don't think anybody expects their bodies to not change over time. Our bodies are fully developed after puberty, but bodies will obviously change throughout time due to pregnancy and hormones and life. I think the point you are trying to make is that if you consciously work to change your body size, it is altering the quote-unquote natural state of your body. But saying that if you go to the gym regularly that means you are altering your body in an unnatural way is stupid. For one thing, not everyone goes to the gym to make themselves look a certain way, some do it because exercise feels good. And even if someone is going to the gym to lose weight or be leaner, why is it a bad thing to take the effort out of your day to be conscious about your diet and exercise? You only have one body and it's perfectly reasonable to want to take care of it.
I believe last time I made this video, someone said this was a female with PCOS. So, I don't know. So I'm going to use they when I talk about this person because last time I said he, and I think someone told me that this person was a female with PCOS. That's why they have the facial hair and the deeper voice. So, but I'm not sure, and I'm not going to go ahead and look them up right now because I don't care. So I'm just going to use they because I don't know the person's gender. So, let's continue.
So this commenter wants to know why weight loss surgery is dangerous. So let's get into that a little bit. This article is titled Long-Term Weight Regain After Gastric Bypass, a 5-year prospective study. Scroll down to the conclusion, and it tells you weight regain was observed within 24 months after surgery in approximately 50% of patients, which is a horrific success rate. Bariatric surgery, a perspective for primary care from American Diabetes Association. Scrolling down to complications after bariatric surgery. As you can see, there is a fuck ton of complications with all of the different weight loss.
Okay, let's read this really quick. Despite the success of bariatric surgery in treating obese and metabolic diseases, there are important complications to consider when managing post-bariatric patients. There are complications in everything. There's freaking complications in our birth control that are fucking deadly. Okay, not saying that complications are something to ignore. There's something to consider, but the complications sometimes the good outweighs the bad. But let's read what these complications. So each procedure has its own set of late complications. Understanding these complications allow PCP a difficult diagnosis while evaluating these patients after surgery. The RYGB was previously the most commonly performed bariatric procedure in the U.S. Despite its excellent medical outcomes, there are numbers of complications resulting from its relatively complicated alterations of the GI anatomy. I don't know what the RYGB is. It's a gastric bypass, but I don't know what's RY. I can't think what RY is. But basically what it's saying is that, like, it looks like these complications are like bowel obstructions, abdominal pain, vomiting, bloating, but it is making sure that you know that it has very great results. Like, he was like, oh, it's only 50%. But in this other article where he didn't want to read what it was saying out loud, it says that it has, I can't highlight it because it's a video, but I'm going to read it again. It says, despite its excellent medical outcomes, so it has excellent medical outcomes. It says that it's a, despite the success of bariatric surgeries, like, it's obviously a successful surgery, but there's still complications if you don't properly take care of your body afterwards that can happen. And even sometimes it happens. And it says it's a 3 to 5% chance of incident. And then down here it says internal hemorrhaging can occur in up to 5% of patients. Like, those sound horrible, but I don't think those complications outweigh the positive outcomes of bariatric surgery, and that's why that's why they perform these surgeries. Doctors aren't performing these surgeries just because they want everyone to be skinny. They're performing these surgeries because, yes, there's complications, but the good outweighs the bad. I'm really glad I stopped and read this because, yeah, I love how they showed this, but they didn't want to say, they didn't want to read it out loud like they read the other thing. They read the 50% out loud though, but they didn't want to read the 3% and the 5% of, like, some freaking complications. You know what I mean? Let's continue to listen to what they have to say.
As you can see, there is a fuck ton of complications with all of the different weight loss surgeries, and this is just a couple articles out of a lot that I could have pulled. It also comes with having to stick to a very, very strict diet basically for the rest of your life. You start with like a liquid only diet and it slowly ramps up, but it completely changes the way that you can consume food, which can lead to a lot of malnutrition issues. Obviously, everyone is free to make their own decisions, but you could not pay me any amount of money to have any form of weight loss surgery. Not with all of these risks and with how ineffective it is. And then you have lifelong risks. Also, well, lifelong risks and issues. Also, go through the comments on both of those videos. There are a ton of horror stories from people who have either had weight loss surgery or who have loved ones who have had weight loss surgery that either died or have had severe complications. So read through comments. There's a lot of personal stories in the comment section. All right.
Okay. There's complications like that with any surgery. I could talk about a surgery my grandmother had for her cancer that literally didn't do anything and she still died, where my other grandmother who had the same rare cancer didn't get the surgery and she survived. So if I ever get this cancer, I just might choose not to have the surgery because the one person who I knew had the surgery died and the one person I knew who didn't have the surgery didn't die. But the odds are still better for someone to get the surgery. It's just my grandmothers are just the outliers. Like, it sucks, but they're outliers for both the situation. It's also very rare for them to have the same fucking disease and not be related, and I'm related to both of them, so that's fun. But, like, there's outcomes and bad things, and I'm not saying go out and get weight loss surgery. It has been something that I have weighed in my own self, but the reason why I decided not to do weight loss surgery is because you have to wait, like, I think it was like 2 to 5 years before getting pregnant, or at least like 2 years before getting pregnant, and I'm ready to start my family now. Like, I want to live a healthy life and everything, but I've been trying to have a child, been trying to get pregnant, and I don't know if I want to hold that off for another 2 years. Like, I wanted to be a semi-young mom, and compared to everyone else in my family, I'm kind of an old mom. So it's just, yeah, that's literally the main reason why I didn't pursue weight loss surgery, is because I heard like you have to wait like 2 or 3 years before getting pregnant. And it can already take me 2 to 3 years to get pregnant from trying. So I'm not gonna have to wait even longer, and then starting with trying is gonna take me even longer. So that's why I didn't decide to do it. But when you're thinking about doing any type of surgery, please make sure you read and look up and read articles from reputable sources about the pros and cons, and talk to your doctors about the pros and cons. And at the end of the day, it's your decision to have a surgery or not. And if you don't like what the cons are, even if you think the cons outweigh the pros, then don't do the surgery. And for this person, the pros do not outweigh the cons. They would rather not have to deal with those issues. And I understand that. You're completely valid in not wanting to have the surgery, but the way you're making it seem like no one should have the surgery because all these horrible things are going to happen. I don't know. Let's just continue. Let's do one more.
All right, thanks for asking. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask. Thanks.
Point 1, 50% is a bad success rate. Yes, but it's significantly better than the 95% diet failure rate that is continuously pushed by the fat acceptance community, so it's actually very good.
That. I was also like, 50% is a bad success rate, but it's not... First of all, the 50% is not the success rate of people who like come out of surgery alive. It's the success rate of people who regain the weight afterwards. But like we've talked about before that they said there's only a 95% chance of you losing weight permanently if you diet. So 50% is a lot better than 95%. Just saying. That's right.
Point 2, there are a lot of risks involved in weight loss surgery. Yes, but what this tells me is how dangerous being morbidly obese is, because if medical professionals are recommending a surgery like this, it means they think remaining obese is actually more dangerous than the surgery.
I agree with that as well. I would love to do this trend, but I'm not about to get canceled by Gen Z for being confident and skinny. Body positivity is until it's someone under a size 10. Even that, it's like until someone's under like a size 14. Like if you're 14 and smaller, and like, oh, you're skinny, oh my God, go away. Because like I think 14 and 12, they're mid fats, you know, they're not fat, or they're small fats, whatever the fuck they call them or whatever, but they're fat, but they're also kind of skinny. They're like the settle fat, so they don't even get to sit at the table. So if you're a size 14, you go in this category as well. But let's hear what the person has to say to that.
Just another reminder that the BOPO movement was not created for thin people. It was created by fat black women.
No, it wasn't. Body positivity was created by white men, white skinny men for that matter, who had fat women in their lives. I'm pretty sure, I remember if I pulled them up, one guy was fat, the other two guys were smaller white men. Body positivity and the fat acceptance movement was started by white men, not fat black women. And if it was created by fat black women, why the fuck is all the faces of this movement fat white women? If this was created by black women, why the fuck are you taking our spaces? Oh, because it wasn't created for us or by us. It was created for fat white women who want to be a fucking victim of something.
For marginalized bodies. Next time, just say you don't know anything about the history of the movement.
But you don't know anything about the history of the movement because I just fucking owned your ass. And I'm not pulling it up again. If you want to find it, there's a video. I'll probably put it at the end cap of this video. Or the end screen of this video. I'll try to have it up there, whichever video I talked about the history of the body positivity movement. Second of all, body positivity, I also am pretty sure like the more recent term of body positivity was about people with like missing limbs and scars and veralagro and like stuff like that they couldn't change about themselves, and then like fat people kind of took over the movement. But body positivity was initially about like stretch marks and people who are like in wheelchairs or who are missing a leg or missing an arm or have scars on their face. That's what body positivity was about. Not about fat people. But y'all took over the movement. And now you're trying to say black women started it. Do not do this to my people. We will come for you. I know there's some black women in this category, whatever, but we didn't start this shit. Don't say we started this shit. Don't do that. We're done.
And then move on. I also really hope that you try to unlearn your fat phobia. Thank you.
Body positivity means different things for different people. Stop trying to gatekeep a movement with your own guidelines for the movement. And also, the post never said anything even remotely fatphobic, so I don't know why you're telling her to be less fatphobic.
Alright, that's going to be it for this video. This was actually really long. That's why I had to stop, because I couldn't even finish the video. It was so long. But if you guys like this video, please make sure you guys leave a like down below. If you guys like me, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that bell notification because I do videos Monday through Friday. The time varies sometimes, but I'm trying to get more of a set schedule. And my social medias. Everything is PixieLove5642. Please come follow me on them. I've been trying to post more on my Instagram and stuff like that, so come hit me up. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.